Hi everyone, I'd like to welcome you all to the live demo of CARA AI. Now CARA stands for Coaching Assistant and Reflective AI. Let's sign in as the school leader straight away. Once I sign in as a school leader, I have direct access to the live coaching module, and I'll sign in. So it is asking me on the challenge that I'm facing. So I'll write that a child is not listening to my instructions and not doing his home and his classwork. It's very important to understand that what is the age of the child, what is the grade of the child that we're talking about. So let's say the age is 7, the year is 2, and we're talking about maths as a subject. For CARA, it's very important to not just understand the situation itself, but to help the teacher understand the situation as well. So it's going to ask, like, during which part of the lesson does this behavior typically occur? I'd say, all right, so it occurs during direct instruction and when I'm explaining. So it's going to spend some time to really understand the situation, to bring greater clarity to the particular situation. Now, what is the student typically doing when they're not when they aren't listening to instructions? Well, they're talking to their peers. So it gives you a range of options. Like you can select multiple, or you can select the one, or you can write your own as well. And you've got an option of recording your voice alongside as well. Now, something very interesting happens. What CARA is doing is that teachers have particular labels of students if they're acting in a particular way. Now, CARA is making me go through a visualization exercise so that I can let go of past labels. So it's giving me a situation which is exactly the opposite of the current situation. And the situation is, it's asking me to repeat after me if I knew for a fact that the child is not only listening to instructions and completing classwork, but also actively following all directions, like excelling in every task. What would that look like in my mind? So I'm visualizing it, like how am I feeling about it? What is the child doing? What does the class look like? And I 100% believe in what I see. Once I've visualized, this particular scenario, depending on the nature of the problem, CARA applies one of the 9 principles of emotional intelligence. So it gives me the principle which says many ways to learn. You have to adapt to different learning styles, not just stick to one learning style of the child. While I understand the situation, it's going to help me suggest different actions to apply this principle. So this is where, CARA becomes very, very specific and gives me a practical way forward. So it's given me 4 activities, suggested actions that I can implement. It's given me the manipulative shadowing. It's basically telling me to provide the student with a small set of math manipulatives like base 10 blocks or counters to mirror your movements and physically build the concepts at the desk while you explain them at the board. The visual scribe, the structured turn and talk. So all of these are very interesting activities which are in line with the principles of emotional intelligence. So I'll select one. I'll say the visual scribe. Invite the students to be your assistant by drawing the shapes and writing the numbers on the board as you explain them, redirecting the social energy into visual leadership role. So the visual scribe is basically what I choose. Now, to apply this particular activity, CARA gives me an implementation plan, which is downloadable as well. So, and in this particular plan, which can easily be attached to the lesson plan, it gives me the objective of the activity and the activity itself, the assessment, and the do's and don'ts, which is the most important part with respect to the implementation. Once I've understood what implementation of this particular activity looks like, CARA asks me to proceed with the coaching summary, and it gives me a whole coaching summary of what we've learned and what was the goal, what was the reality, and what's the principle that we applied and the way forward. When I go to continue implementation, that's the part where CARA wants me to go back and implement the activity in the classroom so that I can gather evidence and move towards the action research phase. Now, once I've implemented this activity in the classroom, it either could have worked or either it's all working. So either way, I have to go back and I have to reflect on it with CARA being my thinking partner. So what I'll do is I'll go to my dashboard in my progress, and I'll go to the ongoing sessions, and in the ongoing sessions I'll restore the session, the latest one on off-task behavior. While I restore the session, it asked me, let's continue from where you left. So let's evaluate your progress. What happened when you tried the visual scribe? I said, it worked. And now we will analyze that, whether we want this particular action to be a part of a permanent toolkit or not. And because it worked for me, so I'm adopting the action. But in case it didn't work, I'll just press on reject and I'll keep the conversation going, understanding the situation in a better way. So now CARA is giving me the differences that I've made as a teacher. So it's telling me that your gentle persistence in weaving a bridge of belonging for the second grader reveals the depth of emotional intelligence the 2D heals. So it's telling me how and what is the impact of my response to that particular situation, and how being emotionally intelligent is worked out in such a way that it's my small intentional behavior that has created such powerful growth over time. And it's asked me to rate the coaching session as well. So I'm rating it 5. And when I rate it, it's going to give me a growth tip as well. So the growth tip with respect to the session is every voice in your classroom is a different instrumental contributing to the same beautiful symphony of learning. And CARA is looking forward to the next session. Now, this is the part where the teachers gain all of the knowledge and coaching to respond to the particular challenge with the student or a group of students inside the classroom. As a leader, what do I get? So since I'm the principal and CEO of Notting International School and I've implemented this at the school, so I have this in my dashboard, which it is called the School Pulse. In the School Pulse, I'm getting a real-time summary of the total number of coaching sessions which are taking place and the staff rating. But what's more exciting is basically this. What I'm getting is the program insights. So what is the nature of the challenges that the teachers are facing inside of the classroom? So for preschool, separation anxiety, selective mutism, real-time data. For primary years, it is academic disengagement, inattentive behavior. For middle years, it is inattentive behavior, limited writing elaboration. And then for high school, it is sensory overload, reactive verbal aggression, inattentive behavior. So, these are the challenges. As a leader, I get a complete picture of the challenges in each of the programs. which is vital for me. So because in order to improve the quality of the school, I need to respond to the challenges which are presented. The idea of this particular application is to really help the teachers become emotionally intelligent, and not just that, to help them reflect on their practice as well, so that they can be there for the children, so that they can improve their relationships with the children, because academic learning cannot happen if you've not focused on the relationships. I hope you liked the purpose of CARA, and I hope you liked this live demo as well. Thank you.